Okay, so moving on to this next area, the gray part, which says open a new document using word processing software. Enter task WA1, your name, candidate number, center number in the footer of the document, and save the document as task WA1. Okay, so I'll come to my 2017 folder, right click, new Word document, task WA1, open it, and I'll immediately head down to the footer. Okay, come to the footer, and I'll type task WA1, your name, candidate number, and your center number. Okay, so close the header and footer. And then the question paper goes on to say, for each web page, display the web page on the screen, make sure all content is visible, take a screenshot of the web page and paste a screenshot into task WA1. Okay, so you can either take a screenshot of your web pages by clicking on the live view button even, or else you can open them with the what do you call the web browser. Okay, so for example, you can come to schedule, you can open it with Google Chrome itself, and I'll zoom in a little bit so everything is properly visible, and take a screenshot. You can press the print screen button. Okay, and then come to task WA1, control V. Okay, there you go. And then you need the second one, which is wildlife. So once again, print screen, and then come to task WA1, control V to paste it. And also we have one more page, which is landmarks. So I come to landmarks and print screen, and come to task WA1, control V. Okay, so what is the question paper? So we have got all three of our screenshots of our web pages pasted over here. Next, the question paper tells us make sure that all the content of each of the three web pages is clearly visible. Okay, so make sure you haven't taken something where the text is not visible. Make sure it's clearly visible, and if that's fine, then we can move on to the next question, which is task WA2. So once again, you're supposed to create a new document, enter these details in the footer, and you're supposed to save it as task WA2. So I'm going to close task WA1. I'm going to save it and create a new document called task WA2. Okay, so task WA2, open it, immediately head down to the footer, task WA2, your name, candidate number, center number. Okay, that's also done. So it goes on to say open your wildlife web page, display the source code for the web page, highlight the hyperlink to your landmark web page. Okay, so they're going to open your wildlife web page and they want to see the coding for the wildlife page. Okay, so you can right click and say view page source, and they want to know the HTML code that was used to connect the wildlife page to landmarks, isn't it? So if you look very carefully, you can find it is over here. This is the coding that connects the wildlife web page to landmarks. Okay, so you can see here over here it says a paragraph tag, and then we have ahref, which is equal to landmarks.html, and then we have put the text landmarks. So it basically means when you click on landmarks, it goes to a file called landmarks.html. okay, if you are not very good with coding and you think you might have difficulty in finding this coding, let me show you a method in Dreamweaver. In Dreamweaver, when you select something, it automatically gets selected in the code view as well. Okay, so now we want to know the coding of wildlife, isn't it? So simply select wildlife and come to code view. That same code would have got highlighted over here. Can you see wildlife has got highlighted? So what you can do is you can simply highlight that sentence, and the question paper says what? Copy the code that you have highlighted. So you can copy it, control C, and then what to do? Paste the highlighted code into task WA2. Okay, so come to task WA2 and simply paste your code. Okay, and the next question that goes on is make sure that the source code for the hyperlink to the landmark page is clearly visible. Resave task WA2, do not print at this stage. And the final question goes as there. That's the final question. Answer this question on document task WA2. The website uses dark green text on a pale green background as part of its house style. Explain why organizations use a house style. So why do organizations use house styles? Basically, every organization will have a particular color that they stick to, and the reason that they stick to these colors is to maintain their brand identity, so that as soon as users see those colors, they immediately remember that particular company. If you take an example like a company like Coca-Cola, okay, they always advertise with red and white and the curvy font. So whenever you see red and white, immediately you remember Coca-Cola. Okay, so most companies, okay, well-established companies, you can say, they always stick to their colors. Okay, whichever colors they have used in their logo or whatever it is, they always stick to those colors. So when users see those colors, they know it is from this particular company. Okay, so you can write the answer over here. You can simply put B, and you can say what was the question? Explain why organization use a house style. You can simply go on to say house styles are used by organizations in order to maintain a brand identity. Okay, so that as soon as users see their colors, they immediately remember a lot of spelling mistakes. Organizations in order. Okay, immediately. Organizations. Okay, so that as soon as users see their colors, they immediately remember, or you can say remember that particular company. Okay, so this is why companies generally have what we call a house style, where they use a certain set of colors. So one thing is to maintain their brand identity, some call it corporate identity, you know, so that as soon as users see those colors, they know it is from this particular company. The company doesn't have to put its name even, just based on the colors, users know, okay, this is from this particular company. Okay, so that's the end of web authoring for 2017 paper. Okay, next we'll be moving on to word processing. Okay, so see you in the next video.